Most women don't lose their day at 6 p.m. They lose it in the first 6 minutes they wake up, when the phone opens, the nervous system tightens, and you start living in reaction. Today, I will show you the 10-minute Goddess Diary method reset that calms the mind, defines priorities, and protects your day before the world spends you. Welcome to Loved Without Losing Yourself. This is for the woman who is capable, responsible, outwardly composed, and privately tired of feeling like her life belongs to urgency. And for the month of March, I am putting a spotlight on the Goddess Diary method, not as an International Women's Day message, but as a practical return to self-respect, a structure that protects your time, your mind, and your energy. Today, I will give you the framework and one small practice you can use immediately. And if you want the full daily structure, the prompts, the pages, the exact sequence that makes it repeatable, you will find it in the show notes. I want to start this episode with a confession. There was a period of my life when I didn't feel like I had mornings. What I had was entry points. Because the minute I would open my eyes, and before even I had my first cup of coffee, I was already on duty. I would reach for my phone just for a second, just to check if something urgent came in, just to make sure nothing was on fire. And within minutes, my chest will tighten, like my body was saying, we are back in the arena. I will see a message, then another. Then I will remember something I forgot yesterday. Then I will jump to my calendar. And then I will start bargaining with time. And my thoughts were, okay, if I answer this quickly, then I will do the thing I need. If I handle that now, then I will be able to focus later. If I just get ahead by doing this little task, then maybe I will have more breathing space later. But the truth was that by the time I actually stood up, I was in reaction. And this is why I can talk about time management all day long and it still won't help, because the problem wasn't my schedule. The problem was the operating system I was running in my mind and my body. What I didn't understand back then was that my mind was carrying too many open loops. Open loops are the unfinished tabs, things you need to remember, decisions you haven't made cleanly, conversations you are avoiding, expectations you didn't even agree to, tiny tasks that sit in your head like that. And when your mind is full of open loops, your nervous system shifts into scanning mode. You stop choosing direction and you start choosing demands. And it looks like productivity, but it feels like pressure. And that's why you can be busy all day and still feel empty at night, because you didn't spend your energy intentionally. You spend it reactively. And for women, this intensifies by emotional load as well, by the invisible responsibility of keeping everything stable, the habit of saying yes early, the need to be reliable, the quiet fear of disappointing people. So you end up doing two jobs at the same time. On one side, you have the actual tasks, And then you are also managing the emotional consequences of those tasks. No wonder your day feels expensive. And once I saw this is when I realized that I wasn't losing my day at 6 p.m. I was losing it in the first 6 minutes. And the moment I opened my phone before I anchored myself, this is where I lost my day. The moment I let other people's needs touch me before my own priorities existed, the first 6 minutes are lost. My whole day was lost. The moment I started responding before I decided, this is when everything changed. That's the moment that the day stops being yours. So the question isn't, how do I do more? The question that you need to ask yourself is, how do I start from direction instead of reaction? This is where the Goddess Diary method was born. It didn't come from my need to try to be more organized, but from me needing a structure that held me steady when life was loud. Because the reality is this: you can have the best intention in the world and still get swallowed by urgency. So I built a reset. It's not a motivational ritual. I want to be clear here. What it is, it's a system, the core operating system, and it's simple. Clarify, prioritize, protect, close. Clarify means remove noise and get honest about what matters. Prioritize, choose outcomes instead of drowning in tasks. Protect, schedule what matters before the world spends you. And close, shut down mental tabs so you don't wake up already behind. And the reason this works is not that it optimizes time. Instead, it calms the nervous system. It reduces emotional load. It trains self-trust. It turns your day into something you lead, not something you follow. Now, I want to give you one practice today that you can do immediately. It's not going to be the full method, but I want to give you something that will be just enough to feel the shift. Do this once before you engage with your messages or before you start serving other people. So let me tell you what is the 3-minute reset. This one practice that I want to share with you today. The first step is to do a mind sweep. What do I mean by this? I want you to write everything that's open in your head. Just write them down on a piece of paper. And there is no need for structure or start judging yourself because you have too many tasks that you've been avoiding. There is no need for that. There is no need for blaming, judging. Just put everything out on a piece of paper. Then the second step is to choose one outcome. And I want you to think this. If one thing is true by the end of today, the one that will help you feel anchored in yourself, what is it? Decide on the one. That is the one thing that you have to decide on, the one outcome. And the third piece is protected. Put it into your calendar as a real block. It can be 20 minutes or 45 minutes block. I want you to make it real. And then I want you to notice something. Even when you're doing this once, you will notice that it often changes how your body feels because your nervous system gets one clear signal. I have one important task to do today, and I will make it happen. The decision is mine, and it's important. And for a woman who's lived in reaction for years, that is not small. That is identity work. Keep doing this for a week, and you will see how much you will shift. When I first started protecting my own priorities, guilt showed up fast. And I want you to pay attention to this because most probably you will have to face the same thing. My mind was giving me these guilt phrases, and they sounded like this. Who do you think you are? You don't have time for this. Do that after you take care of everyone else's needs. And I had to force myself to see the deeper pattern. I have been trained to confuse love with availability, devotion with self-erasure, being good with being endlessly responsive. So of course structure felt selfish at first. But here's what changed my relationship with structure. I learned to value structure as relief. It's how you start being in charge of your own calendar and life. I was deciding how to tackle my day. I stopped following other people's agendas blindly, and I started creating my own agenda, which included my priorities as well. When women use the full Goddess Diary method, what changes isn't just the schedule. It's the internal state. They stop starting their day in panic. They stop negotiating with guilt all day. They make decisions faster. They follow through more cleanly. They feel less resentment. They feel more self-trust because motivation comes and goes. Structure holds. And the deeper truth is that discipline is self-respect, not punishment. And this is exactly why this month I am emphasizing the Goddess Diary method. And it's not a theme. I'm not creating a theme month. It's a support system because women don't need more inspiration. We have plenty of inspiration throughout the years. What we need is a structure that protects us from pressure. So here's the whole episode in one breath. You don't lose your day at 6 p.m. You lose it in the first 6 minutes when you start in reaction. The Goddess Diary method is a daily reset. Clarify, prioritize, protect, close. And the taste for today, mind sweep, leads to choose one outcome, which leads to protect it in your calendar. Try it once and let your body feel the difference. If you want the full method, the prompts, the pages, and the exact daily sequence that makes this effortless to repeat, go to the link in the show notes and access the Goddess Diary method. And if you want to understand what's driving your time leaks at the level of energy and emotional load, take the burnout assessment, also linked in the show notes. And lastly, if this episode supported you, share it with a woman who's carrying too much and calling it normal. You can love people and still stop paying with yourself. I will see you next week.